Hey everyone, welcome. Welcome to Wednesday Live. I am so excited to be back with you. Last week I was out in Arizona visiting my parents and took some much needed time off. So it's fitting that we are talking today about unplugging to be able to and disconnecting to be able to 10x your productivity. Now, here's the thing. You do not need to unplug for an entire week. Do I recommend it? Absolutely. But here's the thing, if we are only relying on the monthly massage or maybe the annual or biannual vacation, we are draining our batteries on a daily basis. And it's really hard to thrive from that scenario. So I'm just curious, straight off the bat, like, are you somebody that does the once in a great while vacation as your way of recharging? Are you somebody that only takes time out once a week or once a month for yourself? And I just want you to pause and think about that. How often do you recharge if you drive an electric, how often do you recharge your car? How often do you charge your cell phone? Most of us would say on a daily basis, yet for ourselves, we don't charge our batteries on a daily basis. And for those of you who don't know, I'm Jen Beck. I am the founder of Complete Health Revolution, and I'm a mind-body transformation expert. I predominantly work with high-achieving women that are everything to everyone. And they a lot of times forget to put themselves on their to-do list. So we find ourselves burning out. We find ourselves exhausted, running through the day, checking off all of the boxes on our to-do list, but we're not even on that list. And I'm somebody who has lived in lived in that mode for a really long time. And so I'm passionate about helping you to put yourself back on the top of your to-do list so that you don't only just get everything done, but you get things done and you have time for yourself. You have a life that you love and you get to thrive in. So if we are constantly wired and tired, if we are not recharging ourselves on a daily basis, we're kind of always on, but we're always drained. You know, this is when you're busy all day and then at night when your head hits the pillow, it still doesn't turn off. I have clients that say, you know what, I have no problem just sitting and doing nothing without the TV or the radio or my phone. And when I probe them a little bit and I said, you know, what's your brain doing? Like, are you sitting there with a calm mind? Oh no, I've got 1,000 things I'm thinking about during that time. So we have a hard time unplugging even when we're unplugging. The key is to be able to recharge our batteries throughout the course of the day. And knowing that if you do that, you're not lazy. You're not unmotivated. You're not somebody that is just checking out. You're resetting. And if we don't reset our batteries, if we don't recharge, then we're operating at half capacity. Think about your phone when the battery is dying. What happens to your productivity and your efficacy in getting things done? We start rethinking everything and we don't have the full capacity to thrive when the same way that we do when we have our battery recharged. So our focus starts to crash. We start having increased cravings. We're looking for anything that's going to give us that next bump of energy. Maybe you're living on caffeine throughout the course of the day. You know, you sleep poorly. And so sleep is the only time when we recharge our batteries. But if we're sleeping 3 or 4 hours a night or 5 or 6 hours a night, but it's interrupted, we're not recharging our batteries. And when we're in that state, we don't have peace of mind. We're much more reactive, living in fight or flight or freeze, and not really thriving. And if you can resonate with that, if you feel like you are constantly on and never allowing yourself to fully rest, even when your body is done, like, just put yes in the comments. I just want to know if that's you, if you resonate with that. And I want you to just pause and think about, how would you show up differently? If you were fully thriving, if you had all of the energy that a full night of deep sleep provides, and you woke up in the morning going, yeah, let's do this, versus, oh, I got to get up. Oh, the kids are up. I got to do this. I got to do this. I have to do this. I need to do this. I should do this. And hitting the ground running. If you feel rested, recharged, and invigorated, how do you handle the rest of your day? Do your family and your coworkers and your colleagues get the best of you, or the last of you. So how we feel on a daily basis, how we take care of ourselves, how we recharge ourselves matters. It matters to us, and it matters to every single person that we touch. And so I just really want to just spend some time kind of unpacking that, because we've been taught that working harder equals better results. So we stay plugged in from the second we wake up until we fall asleep. But your brain wasn't built to run on nonstop digital stimulation. We weren't meant to always have technology in our face. We weren't meant to be always on. You know, there's an old saying that if you don't have time to meditate for 1 hour a day, you should meditate for 2. Now, I say that I'm not somebody that meditates for long. There are apps like Insight Timer where a 5-minute meditation can really refocus us and recharge and reset us. But if we don't ever stop to recharge, if we don't ever disconnect or unplugged, then every scroll, every ping, every switch, it floods our system with stress, with this constant input that's burning our mental energy. And we are always on. Think about your brain being on fire 24/7. And at the end of the day, you're wired and tired, but you still feel like you're behind. There is more to do. There's more on my to-do list. I should be doing this. I need to be doing this. I'm supposed to be doing this. Like, if that resonates, give this a like, because I know I'm not the only one that's out there that experiences this. But if we don't do something about it, we will burn out. I talk to women every single day that say, oh, you know what? I'm just on fire. I was talking to somebody the other day. She goes, I'm doing the job of 3 people because we had downsizing 2 years ago. And she's still running 3 different jobs, 3 different roles. And we have started wearing this energy, or this idea of being busy as a badge of honor. Like, oh, how are you? I'm busy. I'm good, but I'm busy. Right? And we start wearing it as a badge of honor, but we were not meant to run 24/7. We were not meant to always be on. And if we don't intentionally unplug throughout the course of our day, our stress levels go from a 2 to a 5 to a 7 to a 10 to a 12 on a scale of 1 to 10. And we are on fire, and we are reacting to everything. So I want to give you some simple things that you can do on a daily basis that will help you to unplug, to disconnect, to reset, so that if you are stressed, even under the height of stress, when you implement these things, you can keep your stress levels at a 5 or below, instead of letting them continue to build. And instead of continuing to build this pot of boiling water, we're putting the lid on it going, okay, I got to hold it all together. And then it shoots out sideways at our family members or our teammates. Or we blow the lid off and we get sick, or something catastrophic happens, or we blow up a relationship that we truly care about. So I want to give you some tools where you can be able to unplug throughout the course of the day, so that you can be able to manage your stress levels and you can get to a place where you're really thriving. So the first one is to set a clear unplug boundary. This is choosing a time of day, a window where you are screen free. Turn off notifications, plug your phone in outside the bedroom, leave it in the other room, walk away from the computer, turn off the TV, but just have some downtime. Why is this important? Because when we have constant notifications, we are constantly pinging our stress response. Right? We get a dopamine hit of like, ooh, what's that? But at the same time, how many times do you hear the ping on your phone for an email or a text, and you're like, oh, who is that now? And I will tell you that since I turned off all notifications on my phone, I have a notification set for my daughter, but she is the only one that gets through in that time. If I have my do not disturb on, and I intentionally do that, I turned off all social media, I turned off emails, I turned off all of the pinging, my nervous system, it is such a breath of fresh air when you don't constantly have to pick, oh, what was that? Oh, what was that? Oh, what was that? And we're not constantly checking to see what the next shoe is that dropped, or what the next notification is, or what somebody else has going on in their life. Like, think about how much more grounded and calm you would feel during that time. So set a time of day where you have no pinging, no notifications, no distractions, no screen time, and replace it with reading or stretching or journaling or just quiet, right? Take a walk outside. Weather has been beautiful here in Cincinnati lately. So just take a breath, walk outside in the middle of the day and feel the sun on your face. And just pause, just disconnect. One of the most important times of the day to do this is at night. Why? Because when we try to go to sleep, our brain is lit up and stimulated by that screen time, whether it's your phone, your TV, your computer, your tablet, whatever. But that screen time, that blue light, stimulates your brain for an hour after you turn it off. And I have a client, Stephanie, who unplugged after 8:30. She said, I'm gonna just try and read or listen to music or do a crossword puzzle or something. And within 4 days, she goes, I actually slept through the night and didn't wake up dreading the morning. What would that do for you if you had energy in the morning and you felt grounded and relieved and energized? So here's the thing. We need to go to bed between 10 and 12 o'clock at night. That's when our body makes the most human growth hormone. So if you're somebody that's watching the news before you go to bed, you're not only stimulating your brain with the blue light, but you're also stimulating your brain with all the anxiety and worry and stress about what's happening in our world and what's happening in our country. So the last thing I want you to do, or the worst thing that you could do, is to watch the news before you go to bed. So if you have to get your news, do it in the middle of the day, not first thing in the morning, not last thing at night. But really create a boundary of when you use technology so that you can unplug. Okay. And if you're ready to do that for you, just put unplug in the comments, because you truly have the opportunity to give your brain space to decompress, to calm down, and to unwind before you go to bed, but not if we're constantly stimulating it. So just put unplug if you're willing to commit to just experiment for a week. Like, what would it look like? What would it feel like? What would I do with myself for a week if I didn't have a screen in front of my face for the last hour of the day? Okay. So step number 2 or option number 2 is to practice the 60-second power pause. This is a quick, real-time way for you to reset your nervous system. Okay. So put your hand on your heart. Do this with me right now. Okay. Put your hand on your heart, close your eyes. And we're going to take 3 deep breaths. Just 3 belly breaths. Put one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. So you make sure that your belly is going in and out. Because when you're breathing through your chest, that's shallow breath. That's fight or flight. That's stress breathing. So take 3 deep belly breaths right now. Did you notice? Did you notice the shift in energy? Did you feel a little bit calmer? A little bit more grounded? A little bit more clarity? Now I want you to just keep your eyes closed for a second and ask yourself, what do I need right now? Do you need some water? Do you need a snack? Do you need to take a break? Do you need to go outside? What do you need right now? And if the answer is, I need to get this thing done, I encourage you to take 3 more deep breaths and pause so you're resetting your nervous system. Because if you immediately go to what you need to accomplish, your brain is still in fight or flight. So slow it down. Just take some nice, gentle, deep breaths. That allows you to feel the difference in your body and truly to check in what you need. What is the most important thing that you could do for you right now? And here's what's true. When you unplug intentionally, you learn to respond instead of react, right? We're no longer in that the stress mode, the reaction mode, the snapping at people mode, the feeling like everything is important and urgent with hair on fire intensity. You start to really regain clarity and direction. You'll sleep better and you'll eat more intuitively. Now, intuitive eating is not going, what do I need right now? Oh, chocolate cake sounds good. That's not intuitive eating. Intuitive eating is asking what your body needs now. What would be supportive for your body? And I can promise you, it's probably not going to be fast food or sugar if we're talking about what your body needs to perform at its highest level. And at the end of the day, you'll finally lead your day instead of chasing it. When you operate from this place of unplugged, this place of intentionality and groundedness. I have a client who used the 1 minute power pause, and she did a 30-minute tech-free window at the end of the day. And in 3 weeks, she had less stress snacking. She had more patience, and she felt like she was in control of her day again. And this was probably for the first time in about 3 years, because she kept getting more and more work piled on top of her, but she was just handling it as it came in. She didn't have the presence to determine what was important and urgent, because everything felt urgent. And so instead of just reacting and going through the motions, she got really grounded and calm. And it allowed her to respond to demands and expectations and necessities, but in a way where she was proactive and intentional about it. And here's the thing, you don't need to do more. You actually need to just reconnect with yourself. So how do you implement this on a daily basis? Pick one unplugged window, one time that you could do today, ideally 30 minutes or more. Try the power pause, right? Connect with yourself. Take 3 to 6 deep breaths and really just ground yourself in the moment. And then if you want more quick tips like this that will help you to recharge, go to CompleteHealthRevolution.com/powerpause. I have a power pause checklist, which is a perfect, simple document that will give you lots of ideas on how you can unplug and reset throughout the course of your day. So you build more resilience, you build more presence, and you build more clarity throughout the course of the day by taking care of you. So when you step out of the noise and you reconnect with your power, when you pause on purpose, everything else becomes easier. It's not about adding more to your day, but it really is about creating more clarity, more peace, and putting you in the driver's seat of how you respond throughout the course of your day. So try the unplugged window, disconnect, try the power pause, and most importantly, take care of you. Find 1 or 2 ways that you can just unplug and take care of you today. Thanks so much for being here. I will see you guys next week. It's great to be with you.